What's going on, DMV? Once again, it's that show, Open Shots. It's been 3 months. We had to get to you. We're bringing this to you courtesy audio of Zoom. Once again, the show is Open Shots. Thank you for listening to us. It's been a while, but we're back, and we're going to go ahead and try and get into some things. Again, I'm your host, Alex. My co-host by the name of?
Rick.
Rick, what you sipping on?
Motherfucking Heineken, you already know.
Things ain't changed, just a little bit more virtual now.
Racket shit changed, but yeah, that ain't changed.
Yeah, and we got a special guest here by the name of?
Sean Taylor.
Right on. And I'd like to give a special shout out to Los for producing this show, putting this show together for real. Otherwise,
exclusive.
DJ
Los.
Yeah, we're making it happen. So special shout out and special thank you. So Rick, how your past couple months been?
Shit fucked up the way like everybody else. Shit, trying to stay alive, keeping our head above water, man. This shit fucked up what's going on right now. But all we can do is just maintain, keep pushing, yeah. That's all we could do. Just living. We living. I'm living. That's
right on. Mr. Taylor, how your past couple months been?
I just want to say this for the year 2020. Can we fast forward to the alien invasion? Because all this other apocalyptic shit right now.
I don't believe it.
It's a little watered down for me. I'm waiting for the real shit to hit.
Right on. I mean, I think it's also. I think one of the things that's also funny is for the year 2020, it's like supposed to be clarity and vision. Like the show 2020 Vision, and it's like look at what's happening.
Man,
so it's almost like
it's been fucked up.
Yeah, but I mean, but it is also it could also be looked at that way, the same way as clarity and vision.
Fuck 2020. Fuck this fucked up year. First Kobe, not his bullshit.
Yeah. Maybe
you know what? It's been so fucked up. I forgot he died. That's how bad it's been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit.
Man. Things have been pretty crazy. We're gonna get into it, and we got a lot of topics that we're gonna get into. I think generally we're gonna stick to two major topics. Of course, Black Lives Matter and everything that's going on with the protests and that entire movement, which has been really sparked off by George Floyd. We got recorded on June 6th of 2020, by the way. So major march today in the District of Columbia, which this is a DMV show, so right down the street. We're also going to talk about coronavirus, everything that's going on with that, and just how things have changed. And we're going to get into, of course, what keeps us hot, Rick. Who do we love to talk about?
Say it again.
Who do we love to talk about? What keeps us hot?
Donald Trump.
It's
fuck
just
Donald
too easy.
Trump.
It's too easy.
Fuck Trump.
Yeah,
fuck.
I mean, it's
tell Donald
and then,
Trump he can hold my dick. That's what he could do.
Right on. And then we got the last couple of topics we're going to get into is we're going to talk sports. So what's the NBA looking like in terms of their comeback? NHL, MLB, NFL.
The format whack though. They should just have the 16 teams. What the fuck you got to add these playing games for? Or at least finish the season. Whoever they trying to get Zion in the playoffs. That's all they trying to do. It's some marketing schemes. Politics.
Maybe they're trying to get LeBron a championship.
No, man. It's politics. They're trying to get the ratings up. What the fuck are 11 seed doing? And this ain't fucking college basketball.
Right. You know what though? I'm not gonna lie to you. With how the season is cut short because of the coronavirus, it's almost a dud season. You know what I mean? Like LeBron's first championship. It was like, if they would have played more games, they probably wouldn't have won.
They should just did a tournament. No Eastern, just do it like an NCAA tournament. I don't care what they do.
One and done?
They will never do that because they got to extend it.
So best of 5?
Nah, keep it best of 7, but don't even play the fucking stupid 8 games. I don't know how you seed it because it's 30 teams, but whatever teams how they do it, whatever the top 4 teams get a bye.
No, what I wouldn't mind seeing
if you're gonna let fucking teams that are fucking 11 seed in the playoff, and how the fuck they get 13 teams out the West and only 9 out the East? That's bullshit.
I don't know, but that is a topic.
If you see how they did it just to squeeze the Pelicans in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, they probably did it because the West has still got in the strongest conference. So you can have a team that's the 8th seed on the West over 500, and then you come to the East, and then you got a team that's.
It don't matter though. It don't matter. It doesn't matter who in strong conference. The top 8 teams should make it. It don't matter. That's my opinion.
Right on. No, it's all good. So anyway, those are our topics again. And just to recap, we're gonna start off with Black Lives Matter. We're gonna move on to coronavirus. We're gonna talk about Trump again and sports. So everything that's going on with that. Thanks for everybody for being here and taking the time out on your Saturday night, because I know Y'all should have been to the club doing all that good stuff. But
Ain't nobody
it is
doing
what
none of
it
that
is.
shit.
Yeah. So let's talk about we're gonna get into Black Lives Matter. There are definitely some subtopics to it. I think we just want to get into general points. I'm trying to get into general points. So why are we having a protest now? Why haven't we seen this in a lot of other cases in terms of like a national this whole movement? I don't know if you guys have any thoughts or opinions on that. Did we reach somehow a boiling point? Like where are we? And why now? Is it just a general question?
Nah,
If you can't blame 2020, I would say it's just a perfect storm. Everything that could go wrong, that could create something like this, is going wrong. My biggest thing is the coronavirus makes you cover up. So you literally could riot being covered up, and people are like, they can't tell the riders from.
Until you get hit with the tear gas and you have to take off your mask.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie.
That's when you're spreading all the germs.
I was probably in the minority, and the first couple of days, I was like, man, fuck shit up. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you that mad, how they gonna listen? Now I understand that defeats the purpose of the protest. I understand why they protest, right? Something got changed, but shit, man, fuck some shit up a little bit. I don't know if I'm wrong, but fuck some.
Well,
shit
the people who threw tea in the harbor wouldn't think you were wrong, so I don't know. They were fighting for the exact same thing, and it led to a country.
Because I mean, that's just frustration getting built, man. Police been fucking people up for a long fucking time. It's just now they got that shit on camera. It ain't like it's fucking new. That shit been happening forever.
That's the worst part.
Yeah, that's
right now. You're not supposed to be doing the things people don't want to see, and
they're still hitting people and knocking old men over in Buffalo, cracking their head.
They still doing the shit during the motherfuckers protesting. You think the shit, man? The only way you're gonna change the shit, you gotta get out and vote. That's it. That's all you can do. You can protest all you want, but if it's still motherfuckers still in there, they ain't gonna change shit.
Okay, so you're saying so Mr. Taylor, you're saying that the protest now, because it's a perfect storm. The protests have unfortunately turned into, and we had this conversation the other day, which is, did you go down and in march and all this? Like, nah, because me personally, I know that when you get into certain situations like that, and I would just bring it to like when Maryland would win or lose to Duke. You know what I'm saying? Back in like the late 90s and early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? You go out there and you're going for a cause, which is to like take the goalpost down the street and be like, yeah, we won, or damn, we lost. You know what I mean? But then you also have other people, anarchists and whoever, with their own movements who just are trying to destroy shit and start fires. Bamas that just go wild. They don't give a fuck and they just burn the shit down. So I think it's also important for our listeners to understand, I'm pretty sure you're all aware anyway, that there are other groups that have come into these demonstrations nationwide and have put their own agenda up there and just kind of rode behind the wave of it. So let's not be ignorant to that. But at the same time, you still see Bama's coming out, motherfucking Foot Locker and shit, and Radio Shack, and you know what I mean. Like,
I'm saying you shouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think you should have like a 48-hour like venting period.
Like a purge,
right? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really fucked up, right? You gotta do something. You just can't don't beat your own shit up. You know?
I agree.
You gotta go to Foot Locker and take a couple J's. All right, then after your 48-hour purge period, that's what you call it, purge period, and then protest.
There definitely should be a legitimate fear from the government what the people will do if they make mistakes. You know what I mean? There's definitely has to be that feeling. But one of the components I think not really being represented is, like, I know in New York, in LA, they were having parties, and who was breaking them up during Corona? The cops. The cops aren't coming and breaking up the party. Now everyone's having protests and rioting. Oh, there's a lot of people who are like, wait a minute, these same cops came to break up my party. I'm going rioting. I'm going looting. So I think that's another ingredient in the perfect storm, is the fact that the cops were enforcing the curfews for Corona. And a lot of these people who normally wouldn't care for a Black Lives Matter protest have some resentment, and that's why they're showing up.
So let's get to it. The causes that you think have led up to this. I'm, of course, going with the it's going to be a hot summer, like do the right thing type of situation. And then this happened because it was the week of Karen in the park, in Central Park. And then a black man murdered on camera in where was it, Minnesota?
Yeah, Minnesota.
You know, 8 minutes, and that also. I mean, there's so many different ways to go to this. I'm gonna go with just the basic one. Not all the apples are rotten, right?
Mhm.
But in that video, there's 4 of them.
Four cops, yeah.
So one of them is killing a person.
And the
So
other 4 ain't say shit.
So there's 3 good apples, but they're just gonna stand by.
Well, I mean, if you
Or
look
we're
at
all
it,
four.
they
So
all
where
had
were the
knees,
good apples
but
on that
they,
day?
They all had knees on them.
Yeah.
So in the same time, like if he died of asphyxiation and any other trauma to his body, they added the extra weight on there. So
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, where were the good apples in that situation? In the situation with the youngin who was selling Lucy cigarettes in New York City, who got strangled to death. Where were the good apples there?
Yeah, but the police ain't charged that one either, though.
I mean, in the case of the and we're gonna get to it, of course, and in the case of the youngin in Chicago, who was shot on a highway, and he couldn't fall down because he was getting hit from so many different angles.
Yeah.
Did they,
You know what I
they
mean?
got charged? Did they get
Where
charged?
were
for
the?
that?
They did get charged,
Did
but
they get charged?
so how many people were shooting? Like, I mean, was there really justice in that case? So where were the good apples there? And I have to consistently go to that because there's a lot of thin blue line, you know.
I think he did get charged. Did he get convicted though for that though?
Well, there was a lot of shooters. Did they all face their
I
justice?
think what's the name? McDonald, is that the
Yep,
shooting?
yep. Daquan McDonald. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're gonna get into those names.
And they had that shit on candid camera. All that shit be happening on candid camera now. They still don't get clean.
Right. Exactly.
Let that be us, and we be fucking. I mean, they'll smoke us.
Right. So then again, I'm sticking with the causes. Just in my mind, not all, you know, not everyone is a bad apple, but in all these instances, the ones that I've just mentioned, 3 of them.
There's a whole lot.
Where were the good apples?
I think
where were they?
They be like one bad apple. There's like 30% of the motherfuckers bad as shit.
Right. So, well, whatever the case is, for all these different occasions where there were multiple officers, where were the good ones?
I think
Let's
they need
just
to be
go by those
they
statistics.
need to be a higher standard of how the fuck you become a police officer. Because they got a lot of
that's a great. Go ahead.
They got a lot of asshole cops that just probably been bullied their whole fucking life and they dumb as shit, and now they want to be fucking police officers.
I think that me personally, I think that there needs to be a stop on hiring former military into the police force.
Right.
Because especially with situations like this, National Guard, I get it. You do National Guard if you're active enlisted.
But
go ahead.
what's your stats on veteran cops that have killed compared to non-veteran cops?
So where I'm going with it is in general, the terms of the type of training that you're getting. Because if you're military,
are actually more disciplined, and the civilian cops are actually really the ones who are the problem.
So let's find out.
Be right on that. We don't know.
I think the military guys are more disciplined.
Yeah, but they might be fast to pull the trigger though, because they might have one of them Fallujah flashbacks. Like,
exactly.
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know.
Yes. So
he might smoke everybody in the room.
What I'm pointing to is the type of training that you get. Having somebody who has military training, and now. Because there's 2 different things that I'm bringing up right now, which is if you have military training, you're taught to assault and like take over and like defend at all costs. Versus
to follow orders.
Okay, fine, following orders. Okay, fine, whatever, follow orders. But as a police officer, I believe in community policing.
They need to train them better.
Like case in point, and I just had a dinner today with my folks. And my dad brought up, he's like, what's up with your man Rob? They talking about Black Lives Matter, but I haven't heard his name. So I have to bring up his name. And my dad defends him. Like, we seen a video, it's up there, rest in peace to Rob. But he still believes that he was stalked by the police. And what I believe is if you was a community police, you would have known who that guy was because you're a police in your community.
Right,
you're not trying to like assault somebody, or if you get attacked, like I have to kill. There's like this thing of like you can't talk because this is the perp and I gotta bang bang or whatever the fuck. I gotta bust his skull somehow. That type of training coming into law enforcement is my concern. And
I mean the stats do support community policing by people who live in the community is stronger with better effects than the ones who are not from that neighborhood. You know, the stats are so lopsided that it almost seems like it doesn't make sense to hire people outside of that community.
Well, so I don't care where you're from and what precinct or district you have to work in. My whole thing is get to know where you work at. It makes your job a whole lot easier in solving crimes. You know what I mean? And just being out there like, officer, whatever, I got this problem. Can you help me out? Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like victims of like domestic abuse, kids who got nothing to eat, like people will come and talk to you because you've built trust. But I don't know that military training coming into law enforcement kind of flows together or syncs that well. Because you got the training, that's why they're gonna hire you, because you're already around guns and shit.
Yeah,
but now should you be around guns and civilians?
But here's a quick point, kind of building on what you're saying. We were talking earlier today. There's over 600,000 law enforcement in this country. So the police assume a position where one policeman has to pretty much guard or cover 400 people. It's impossible. You can't do it. So the whole description of your job is not really the police people, but to earn 400 people's trust so you can make them feel protected.
Trust or fear?
Trust. It's definitely got, because if you have 400 people to every one cop, the numbers are totally out of your favor. So it's a very humble job. It's a job you got to come into and say, you know what, no matter, even though we have the law on our side, with the fact that there's 5 or 6 guns to every American, it doesn't look favorable for you to try to piss off the public. It's just the numbers are overwhelming. If people got together and just said, hey, you know what, we want to live lawlessness, there's nothing the cops could really do to stop it. And the one way to prevent it is by gaining the public's trust. They have to do a better job.
Yeah, but they got to be more truthful though.
Yeah, very truthful.
I don't know how many times you've been arrested, but I'm just saying, how many times have somebody been arrested? I can vouch for myself. I've been arrested where they fabricate a police report to fit their arrest. When the fuck they pulled you over wasn't the reason why they fucking wrote on the motherfucking police report.
Well, sometimes they won't tell you why, and I think that's what really escalates the situation even worse. Is what did I do? And they don't want to tell you. Right. You know what I mean? If you just told them, maybe they could be like, hey, you know what, you got me. But, it's like they do that intentionally to get you to do more things so they can get more conviction from you.
You read your police report, you be like, whoa, that ain't what the fuck you told me in the car. The fuck?
Right. Well, so
it's been a record time. Me personally, they fabricate their police report to fit the reason why they arrested me. That's some bullshit.
Yeah, they probably didn't have anything, so they needed time. But
then that gives them a reason to start searching your shit and shit like that.
Exactly.
And one time they was like, man, we pulled you over for not wearing the seatbelt. I'm like, yeah, you saw me take my seatbelt off so I could give you my fucking insurance shit out all my shit on my fucking.
I've had that happen to me too. Yeah, like I literally just unbuckled,
And I told him I'm gonna unbuckle my seatbelt so I could grab my shit out of my glove department. He said, okay, that's fine, sir. Gave him my shit. He saw my shit was straight. Then he talking about, man, you been drinking? Oh, what's going on? He said the reason why I pulled you over because you ain't had your seatbelt on. What? Mm-hmm. You saw me take my shit off.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. They fucking make shit up. They pull you over for some bullshit.
Right.
Then when your car's clean, then they start asking some other bullshit. Especially, see, if the police know where you be at and they see your rack of fucking times, they do shit like that.
Right. It's true. All right, but so here's also where I'm going to with also I just kind of want to go back with the whole every apple is not a bad apple. There is
that's a bad fucking apple right there.
I'm not talking about your case. I'm talking about in the videos that we've seen and like everything that we know about corruption in terms of like police forces generally, and of course what we've seen factually is that they are able to hide. And Tupac said it best: cops are a gang. They have their police union. That's why you don't see these convictions.
Yeah.
That's why you don't see that justice.
And they strong.
That's why the whole bad apple thing is like, damn, if I actually step up against a fellow officer, I'm going to be more ostracized within my clique.
And that's bullshit.
You know what I mean? So don't forget that also. It is a union,
bullshit. They be
but it is also
they work for us. They work for us, dog. We pay their salary.
Yeah, but they got the badge and the guns. They can fuck up your day like that.
That's what I'm saying.
The movie Black Panther, right?
Yeah.
Remember how they didn't take Baby Killmonger with them, And T'Challa asked him why, and he said, "We have to maintain the lie." And that is the lie. I forgot the words you said it, but it's basically like they really can't control the 340 million people.
Mhm.
So there has to be this perception of we're in charge, and everybody has to pretend that's going on, or else people will just take advantage and have anarchy all the time. So that's one of the reasons why they're getting away with it, because someone at top is like, if we lose control, we're going to lose the whole entire country. So they rather let the bad apples.
They need to start prosecuting them like they prosecute me and you, because at the end of the day, they're citizens just like us. They just happen. I do HVAC. That's my job. If I put my knee on Alex and I kill him, I'm in fucking jail for second-degree murder with a $500,000 bond. He's a police officer. He's a U.S. citizen just like all of us. He needs to be in jail with a $500,000 bond.
But how important is the lie? You know what I mean? How important is it to keep this illusion that we are in control, that you're safe, that nothing's going to happen, your business will get burned?
That's the only way it's going to change, dog.
But
start locking their ass up. And if they beat the shit, that's cool. Let their ass sit in the fucking county jail for 6 fucking months waiting for trial, right? Let them burn that money on their motherfucking lawyer, right? Let them sit in that motherfucker just so they can be like not guilty. Sitting in that motherfucker for 6 months, they're going to think about next time they do some petty ass shit again.
Right.
Well, okay, so Rick,
and then look, how many times they got to get written up for? Written, didn't the motherfucker who did that had like 18 something right up?
I heard he had like 7.
Yeah,
or like 7, 8.
7.
It doesn't matter. I think there should be a limit. Like once you hit 5, it's like whoa, we need to
at least
talk.
At least like the NBA, 6 fouls, you fouled out. You can't be punished no more.
Right. There you go.
Like, how do you feel about working the desk?
Change the job up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what y'all do, but if you had 6 right up to your jump, you probably won't be where you at right now, would you?
Nah.
So what the fuck?
I mean, unless you're the boss's son.
Well, so going back to what you just said about the whole,
they need to work the pawn shop unit like they did to the cousin the wife. Okay, that's what he
needs. Give him that. I give him my fucking ticket duty in West Baltimore.
No, you
on foot.
That's a reward, because all they're gonna do is like mess with people.
No, you get foot patrol. You get foot, and you get dropped off.
Not even that, dog.
Patrol car pick you up for lunch. Drop you right back in and pick you off again.
That does sound
foot patrol.
Bad.
Enjoy the West Side. Enjoy it.
I think you get 6 personal fouls, you out. You better go be security at McDonald's. You don't deserve to be a police officer.
Right. So I just wanted to get to one point, which was what we were talking about, like the perception is reality. I think that right now the curtain is getting pulled back. That is also could be, and I mean, it's obviously, I think it's also a factor, is that we've been seeing so much injustice on television, on videos, and nothing has really changed. Nothing has really happened.
Because you got to vote them out.
So now that's a cause for, obviously the protests and the movement, and it's like you said, a perfect storm. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, the complete, upheaval or redemolition or remodeling of the system has to be what you said, Rick. When they catch a charge, they need to catch it like everybody else. They cannot be treated specially.
No.
Once that happens, then it's definitely.
And I ain't saying put them in population, because at the end of the day, the jail is supposed to protect inmates, right? Had they asked in PC, right? 23-1, whatever fuck you gotta do, fuck it. I watch all that shit go down dramatically, because they're gonna think twice about doing some shit like that.
We're still talking about Black Lives Matter. Once again, this is Open Shots. I'm your host, Alex, along here with
Rick.
We got a special guest by the name of
Sean Taylor.
Yeah, Rick, what you sipping on?
The motherfucking Ninja Turtles.
I'm over here. I'm over here on the beer, still trying to get sponsored and all that good stuff. But I just wanted to give one final recap. So once again, this is a show. You know what the show topics were. We started off with Black Lives Matter. Our next topic is going to be coronavirus, and we're going to move on putting our foot in Donald Trump's and talking about sports. And, probably wrap it up after that. But one last thing I wanted to get into with our first topic, which is Black Lives Matter, was I wanted to get a recap of, I guess, the major cases or the major stories that have happened that have kind of built this movement. Sandra Bland, in my opinion, was held in custody, murdered, and then propped up after she was already deceased for a photo in the state of Texas. All right, so prove me wrong. Freddie Gray in the state of Maryland, decapitated in a paddy wagon.
And
Michael
they all
Brown,
and they all beat that shit. They all beat that shit.
Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, was shot and killed. And I don't know the circumstances of how it went down, but here's where I'm getting
charges
to.
And then get
left his body in the middle of that community for like 10 hours, so the entire community could see what the police is saying. You come at us, this is what happens. Like a dead rat to the rest of the rat community. That's fucking terrible. Eric Gardner, New York City, selling the Lucy cigarettes, was tackled and choked to death by like 6-7 police officers. Laquan McDonald, which is the worst case, of course, the teen in Chicago who was in the highway, and we said it earlier, was shot from so many different angles that his body could not fall after he was already dead. One more time to my man Rob White, because my dad said, what happened to your man? All this Black Lives Matter stuff going on. So shout out to Rob. Rest in peace, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing that, you know what I'm saying? Seeing that video was tough, dog. You know what I mean? And like, you know, and I told my dad, and I tried to argue with him, you know what I'm saying? My dad's law enforcement, he retired. I'm like, young, Rob went at the cop twice. So I'm like, in the eyes of so many people, in the eyes of a jury, you can win that case because he charged the police officer twice. But my dad off the break is like, this Bama has the same arguments we have. He has a stun gun. He has backup coming. He has a baton.
Yeah,
he's talking to him.
He could have hit him with a stun gun.
You know what I'm saying? Rob isn't attacking him, but he keeps getting close, so he was stalking him. You know what I mean?
He shouldn't have been fucking with Rob anyway.
Yeah, everybody shouldn't have. And again,
everybody know Rob walked that way. Everybody know Rob walked.
But again, rest in peace to Rob. And there's one last thing I want to get into. I kind of got away from it. We're gonna have to chop up some time on something else, which is, I don't know yet if you guys got a chance to look at the qualified immunity, what the definition of that is, which is basically like if you are, in the like law enforcement community, then you are can get away, or you're not a liability, or you're not liable at certain times from being responsible for essentially being a cop and killing people. Mm-hmm. So I think that's something, and just in general, in definition, that needs to go away. You guys should read up on that to our listeners. It's called qualified immunity. So check it out. If you get a chance.
We gotta take it one step at a time. You know, you're going for they ain't gonna give you everything at once. Yeah. They ain't doing that. Let's take baby steps. You know what I'm saying? But I feel what you're saying, but they ain't gonna change all that shit. They need a pillow when they shit go down.
All right. So let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, which is coronavirus. I don't know if you guys looked at the World Health Organization numbers, but United States leads it with like, I can't remember how many, like 1.6 million, and then behind it is
like 1.8, right? Or,
thanks, Lowe's. I don't know how you did that, but thanks for giving me my screen back. I mean, it was something ridiculous, but
and 108,000 death. Our clip rate is fucking 10%. That's fucking terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Well, I don't know that we've really talked about this before, but then there were these numbers about like what's going on at in Italy. Remember with how their numbers were so spiked, and somebody was talking to.
We follow right after them, like a couple weeks later. Yeah. Remember, because one of the last we did, I was like, Italy had 700 deaths. We need to take this shit serious. And 2 weeks later, America, motherfucking dying like shit. 2,000 1,500.
You guys trust what they're called? World Meter. Yeah. They're saying that we have just under 2 million cases,
right?
And that we have over 112,000 deaths, and we've had 700,000 and some change, of course, recovered.
Yeah,
man, that's still a rack of fucking motherfuckers dead.
Yeah,
you mean?
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, you got a 10% chance dying from a mean ass cold. That's some bullshit.
With mean ass flu, but
well, whatever. That's some bullshit.
Dog, and what's it called? Brazil. Their like numbers are like going up because the president of that country, he believes it's a hoax.
Yeah, he's
doing it like he's like Trump. Exactly. He's part of that club. He's part of that club. Yeah.
He's saying that shit because he need money from us, Trump president. I bet you that's why he's doing that shit. He playing politics.
I mean, we live in a time where social media is celebrity. where girls on Fans Only can make more than like working men. You
know what that is?
So-
He told me about it the other day. I was like, what is this show?
Nah, you late.
I don't
You
even know what
late.
that was. So let's get back to Corona. So because of coronavirus, we had protesters on state capitals armed to the teeth, trying to tell their state officials reopen the barbershop.
Right, that's a bullshit.
I need to get back to work, which I don't really think it was. I think it was like, you're
That's
making my life
bullshit.
inconvenient.
And then,
You know what I mean?
and then on Monday, fucking Donald Trump had the motherfuckers hit with pepper spray so he could do a bullshit photo opportunity. And they weren't even causing no fucking disruption. They was out there peacefully.
Right.
Bullshit.
But
I mean, I'm not going to front. You could justify how each group is treated, but when it keeps happening the same,
They walked
then
in.
you kind of lose that. You know,
They had fucking assault rifles in Michigan storming up in the jump talking about fuck you, the police, man. They weren't saying shit.
Arms to the teeth, spitting on police, up in their face, fingers in their face, nothing.
Because they couldn't get their nails done.
So this is
do you think that maybe they was the police was intimidated? Because like, damn, there's a lot of white people with guns.
Yeah, exactly.
But
because they was like, we white too.
But it was vice versa. They'd have shut that shit down.
Here's the
I'm not talking about race. I'm talking about yes, race. But
if we seen a bunch of Black Latinos, any minorities
come up there with assault rifles in the state building, they ain't gonna let that shit slide. They gonna be like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Would they be
scared?
Would they be scared? You know what I mean? Because
right.
Yeah.
Well, there was a state senator.
Would they be scared to not do anything?
Well, so there was that one state senator.
They were smokers.
Well, there was a state senator from.
They be like, man, they'd be like, man, I saw him pointing at me.
Michigan. It was a state senator
from
Michigan.
Murderers. I'm telling you.
Who a black, armed people with legally armed, able to carry. They escorted her with their ARs. They gave her security because it was like, hold up, this looks a little, you know what I mean? Because what is she? She's a state senator, the governor.
No.
Different,
state senator, something like that.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean? She has to worry about
Dylan Roof Burger King before they took him to the jail.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, like I say, it looks bad, but it happens so often, it's hard to justify, is there a treatment between blacks and whites?
It's kind of clear, man. Black. I mean, I think the example that we're giving is kind of clear, man.
Here's the thing.
A lot of people just go, it's different than blah, blah. And it's like, nah.
White people do things different than black people. Like, for example, I had a friend, she was protesting and she videoed it. And she's like, fuck you, cop. And she was all in his face while they're protesting. And nothing happened to her. So if white people were to go through the same thing, which they would bring their guns or whatever, they have different ways of protesting. So when you look at it, if we were to copy everything white people did, would we get treated the same? You know what I mean?
I don't think so. I think ultimately, because I had this.
So that's what it comes down to.
I had this argument with my mom today.
If you don't
it literally
believe so,
came down
to
skin color.
There is.
It literally came down to skin color, and I was like, young shit the Nazis would say type shit. Well, no disrespect to my mom. I love you, mom. You know what I'm saying? But some of the times the things she be saying, I'm like, young, like, but it's old school thinking. Nah, hey, look, my bad. I ain't mean to throw my mom under the bus. I'm just saying, like, sometimes the things that she be saying, I'm like, young.
Too late now.
Yeah, I know, too late now. But
shout
out to my moms. You know what I'm saying? Because of my moms, I'm able to do things like this.
He walking it back now.
And do it. Well, anyway, open shots, hit us up at openshotsdmv@gmail.com. I'm your host, Alex, along here with
Rick, man. What's up with the Jameson? What are you looking at?
I got something in the back. With we're gonna keep it moving, but let's keep it moving with coronavirus. So, in the state of Maryland, we're moving to like phase 1 or phase 2 in the DMV. They're
I don't
know what the phases are. So, could
we in phase
please
1.
tell me what your thoughts are on right now in Montgomery County, like the DMV county. So, like Montgomery, Fairfax, Arlington, Prince George's, and of course the district. And then if there's other Virginia counties that I forgot about, I really don't care. It's Virginia. So, I mean, how do y'all feel about like where we're getting back up to in terms of being back online? I would say economically. What are your thoughts?
I mean, of course, you got to do it, but I don't think we should rush it. I think we should fucking listen to doctors and scientists and not fucking politicians. So if the doctors and scientists say, yeah, it's good, then that's my stance. I could be wrong. I don't run the fucking state. I don't run the country.
Okay.
I think everybody should be safe. Safety first.
Well, I think in the state of Maryland, I'm giving huge props to Larry Hogan. He's done a great job. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of what he was doing off the break, he's a Republican governor in the state of Maryland. and I back the dude because he went at Trump. You know what I'm saying? And Maryland's a Democratic state, so
Well, you know what?
I kind of got to ride with the guy. He's doing his job, man.
I still kind of can't give him props because he's done so.
Because you're from Virginia.
Well, nah, that's not.
It's in your blood. You don't even know it. You're from Virginia. It's like it's in your blood. Like everything that's like good, you're kind of like not that.
Financial cuts that he's made, it's still very conservative, and it's affecting us. So in a way, it's almost like, you know what I mean? We're not going to kill you quick. You're just going to die slowly. You know what I mean? And those are the two types of evil. The people who come at you and hit you really hard, where you're like, damn, I hate this Trump guy. To the Larry Hogans who come in, they're like, oh man, he's nothing like Trump. But then 10 years later, you're like, damn, his policy was like what the crime bill did for people of color. You know what I mean? But we couldn't see it at first.
Yeah.
And that's who he is. So
okay,
don't be blinded. You know, don't be look at it like, oh man, he's the savior. Then 10 years from now, you're like, that motherfucker.
Hey,
okay.
I did give him credit though, the way he shut down Maryland so
Yeah.
fast. I was like, hell yeah.
And
but
then he also his wife
he
got the
but-
mask
but-
and all them shit. and
Yeah,
I'm
but
like,
he not paying. He not doing the guidelines that they sent for phase one.
which are I don't even know if phase one is. What is
Phase one, if I'm from my understanding, was you're supposed to have 14 days in a row of the shit going down. You need 14 days in a row just to begin phase one. And also, I thought it was you're supposed to have 1,000,000 rule. For every 1,000,000 people that you have in your state, only one person can test positive for 14 days in a row. And that was the shit that I believe Trump said. I could be wrong. I can't remember where I read that from, but I thought that was the case because they set an example for the state of New York, or maybe for New York City, I don't know. But they have 20 million people. That's probably New York City, or is that the whole state? Well, anyway, their example was, because they use New York as an example, was since they have 20 million, that they can only have 20 people for 14 days in a row per day test positive for coronavirus to open up phase one. So none of the fucking 50 states are going by phase one guidelines set by the fucking president.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously you have to push the economics, and that's why we're bringing it up, because it's like, you know, where kind of are we? And I think a lot of people don't know, and hopefully our listeners will get a little bit better understanding in terms of me. This is where I'm coming from. This is we have never anticipated this. We've never had a playbook on this. I mean, I guess we did back for the pandemic of 1918, which
we definitely had.
Okay, so we had the playbook.
Yeah,
okay,
we did,
yeah,
and he got rid of the pandemic
So
jump
then-
in 2018.
So there you go. So then,
You know, Obama left him a 60-page jump of what that do during a global pandemic, and he fired that fucking team in 2018.
Yep, he did. He got rid of the entire
Okay.
department. So, all right. So then, I have been corrected.
So there was a plan in place. He just
there was a plan.
I've been
He threw- he
corrected.
threw-
I mean,
he threw
first
the
of all,
playbook
this
away.
country goes all over the world for humanity.
I feel like Obama's like talking in the back of my head. And he's like, oh,
I
you should have
told you that,
you should have known better.
No, but we do humanitarian stuff all over the world. And it's very hard to believe we don't have something in play for ourselves. So you know there was something.
Okay. So final kind of questions, and I'm gonna wrap them all up. Personally, professionally, how you guys are affected? How do you feel? How has it affected you moving forward? Should we slow it down? Should we kind of move it forward? What are your thoughts? Let's go quick. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Say it
if I can
again.
go first,
Go
real quick, what I think everybody would want to hear, how was unemployment?
Mhm.
Unemployment for the whole entire time until now. When you called it, it was a busy single. So you couldn't get anybody. You would contact them through email. They would send you a response back, not addressing the problem that you had. And if you try to return that email, it tells you that this email is only for outgoing. It can't take incoming emails. So anybody who had problems and couldn't get money or help was stuck. And the state had no answer or no ways to fix that. And then finally, when this week you're allowed to call and you're allowed to actually talk to a person, it tells you to go to another number, which does the same thing. But the number that you're calling on the answering machine, that's the voice the robot that's helping you, is breaking up. Me and Alex are listening to it, and they're like, call number 8.
Or Joan busy. Oh, it's busy all the time and shit like that.
But
Number
it's
they give you is
definitely unprofessional.
All right. So, Rick, personally, professionally, how's it affected you? Should we slow down? Should we keep going? What's going on?
I think we should slow the fuck down. As far as business wise, I had to collect unemployment for a couple months because my business shut down. There was no calls coming in. But now I wish we fucking did, because people were scared for us to come in their house. Now the fucking first hot day we get, everybody fucking 1,000 people calling no AC. Bitch, if you was fucking letting us in your house in fucking April, we could have addressed this shit fucking 2 months ago.
But you understand how people were kind of like, we got to sacrifice now, and then hopefully we'll be able to deal later.
And I get it. I totally get it. Because before the shit went, right when the shit started going crazy, back in March, I went to a lady house. She called for no heat. I knock on the bitch door. She talking about, I don't want you in my house. Well, bitch, how you going to get heat? That's what I think in my head. Right? Right. So I had to go back to the fucking lady house the next fucking day, and we fucking talking like 10 feet away. At the time, I'm like, yeah, this bitch crazy. It's not that serious. But now I feel her. She was smart to me. I thought I was doing something just wearing latex gloves back then. I was like, damn, and not knowing that shit was fucking coming through saliva and shit like that. This bitch could have got me sick with my dumb ass gloves when they did shit for me.
Right on. All right, so I'm just gonna wrap it up. I'm just gonna wrap it up. Like, luckily, I've been able to work. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm back now, but it be like April, but March and but a month and a half, half of March and all of April.
Yeah, so I feel it was like job irresponsible for the government to give everybody $1,200 because I didn't need the money, but I took it.
I ain't have problem like everybody else.
I'm gonna fuck it. I don't need it. Can I return? Because I thought you had to sign up for it.
I got my bread ASAP.
Yeah,
I got my bread ASAP.
That's the whole.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I didn't know. I just got the job one day. So I don't think I really need it. I would rather give it to
some people didn't get it. I've heard stories where people didn't get their bread. The week I filed, I got my money 2 weeks later.
Right. So we've mentioned this on the show since we first got into coronavirus before, like I guess our last show probably, which is you can't be complacent in situations like this. So you can't consistently move it forward too fast. I agree with Rick. At minimum, we shouldn't move forward. At maximum, we shouldn't move forward. At minimum, we should stay kind of where we're at in terms of like defense mode because we can't be complacent. I'm looking at it like work safety. You can't become complacent because then you get an injury. And then all that little bit of like kind of side screwing and getting by, and all of a sudden, bam, you got a broken leg, or you didn't wear your hard head and got hit with a fucking hammer. So.
Well, I mean, we're gonna see 2 weeks from now because with all the protests that's going on, it takes 2 weeks for it to work its magic. So we're gonna see what we look like in 2 weeks.
Yeah, once again, you're right. You're right. I ain't even thinking about that shit. 2 weeks, what?
Yeah. Once again,
hey, don't jinx it. Don't jinx it, ST.
Yeah. Once again, this is that show, Open Shots. Hit us up at openshotsdmv@gmail.com. I'm your host, Alex, along here with
Rick. You already know.
We got a special guest by the name of
Sean Taylor.
Rick, what you sipping on?
The motherfucking Ninja Turtles. Yeah.
I'm over here sipping on beer. Once again, we're back. This is that show, Open Shots. Hit us up at openshotsdmv@gmail.com. I'm your host, Alex, along here with
Rick.
Rick, what you sipping on?
The motherfucking Ninja Turtles, y'all ready?
How's that Jameson?
Said Jameson about to get me built. Already took a shot.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, man. I had, because it's Open Shots. Take them shots.
Oh, what'd you take a shot of?
Some vodka, dog. I don't really drink.
Ghiblis.
Nah, it's
Smirnoff.
Bowman's.
Never heard of.
Like, yeah, exactly. Some like, you know what I'm saying? But it was a gift, so
some English.
Thanks.
Free liquor, dog.
Exactly. Free liquor.
Dog.
So thanks, you know what I'm saying? To my man.
It's not in a plastic bottle. That's what.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a plastic. But even sometimes those can be fun.
It's a plastic junk?
No, it's not. It's glass. But what I'm saying is, even though sometimes plastic jumps can be fun.
You went to the high school jump, the plastic jump, yeah.
It was, first of all, it's a gift. So it's getting drank regardless.
The Ghiblis used to get us fucked up. Like 8 motherfuckers, we get a half gallon for like $7, and then we used to get the fucking green juice from fucking Giant across the street from the Flower Liquors and get fucked up off that fucking Ghiblis half gallon for $7.
Young in college.
Carlos Rossi.
Yeah. What is it?
The Carlos Rossi. It comes in that, they call it red wine. It comes in that.
That's like red rose wine type shit. Wine drink.
It's a wine drink. That's that West Side shit.
Hey, Alex, your wino drink was on the Bum Wino magazine, motherfucker. We seen that shit the other day.
I got a message from the producer that came through that he I don't know if this is a recommendation or just thinking back, but Cisco. That's Candy Crack. That was literally Candy Crack, young.
You was on the Wino Hall of Fame. That's what it said.
Like, yeah, well, hey, I got the email from the producer saying Cisco. So
you said my joke. He was on Wine Wall Hall of Fame.
Well, go on bumwine.com. So
that's what I said.
Oh, all right. So my joke was in college was like it was like an $8 or $9 bottle of like I think it was like Captain. It wasn't Captain Morgan. It was like Captain Leonard. Or or like Captain Chip. Oh my God. And it was like instead of like the parrot over here, the parrot was over there. Yeah, some bum Jordans. It was still liquor for like a big ass handle.
When we couldn't afford Bacardi, we used to get the Castillos, dog.
Yeah, Castillos.
Yeah, that was a poor man's Bacardi. They had the gold, the white, and the fucking brown. We thought we were doing something with Castillo's gold.
Yeah.
Because the Bacardi Gold was my shit as a youngin'.
Right on. He said Captain Leonard.
Yeah, it was one of them Jones.
Yeah, he had some knockoff shit. That's what you had.
Let's get into the next topic. So we got 2 topics left off. Once again, we're going to recap. We started off with Black Lives Matter and everything that's going on with that movement. We followed it up with COVID-19, obviously, sign of the times, both of those stories. We're starting now with our next topic, which is we're going to get Trump's ass. And then we have sports and then probably just like a 5-minute wrap up. So going into Donald Trump, he had statements to the governor about law and order. So this is like randomly, completely off topic, but he posted on Twitter law and order. And then other people were like responded with like their favorite like sitcoms or like, shows. So it was like Law and Order, Seinfeld, Friends, what is it called? Family Matters. They just kept going. It's like,
the internet is
I thought that was hilarious.
It just doesn't lose.
In a moment of plight,
he's a
that
fucking
shit
idiot,
was like, it's hilarious. The public, gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Oh my
God. All right, yeah, well.
He can't.
I thought it was hilarious. He like literally, you get what he's saying, but it's like this doesn't. Like somebody was like, "This doesn't end." I thought it was funny.
He can't get out. He can't get out his own way, young. Like he can't. He can't.
My goodness,
he can't. Yeah, he can't get out his own way. He's stupid.
Yeah,
he's dumb. I don't even know how to. I know how he got. I know how he got elected. I know how he got elected.
Yeah, well, there you go. So he had statements to the governors about law and order. And I think a lot of those statements were essentially a little bit more than what you would say with John Paul Jones, from founder of the Naval Academy, would say, which is like, hold the ship, right the ship. Because right the ship is when you're in peril. Something that you actually have to struggle to overcome. But he's giving that same kind of order to the governors, where it's like, we're not really completely under attack. You can almost issue martial law. He is to the governors is what he was kind of going about, and that's coming from the federal government. And shout out to Muriel Bowser, who from the district, who said she didn't want any federal help. She didn't want any federal.
Yeah, she got him out of there.
She was like, no, exactly, because this once again comes down to your community. Right. She gives a damn about her community.
Right.
She went to AU. You know what I'm saying? She's, from this area since professionally. So I think it was extremely responsible for her part, but then in general for the president of the country to tell governors in general what to do with the forces that be to like clash and stop protests and bash. That says something a lot about our president. So those are my personal thoughts. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on, in general, since Karen in the Park and George Floyd have made a huge movement in this country.
Fuck Donald Trump. We gotta get. The easy answer is get this motherfucker out of here.
But he still has friends in a lot of states. A lot of states.
But
he won a lot of states.
But it's deeper than that, young. Because look, if this motherfucker get 4 more years, young, it's gonna be terrible for people who are especially for minorities. It ain't I'm mainly talking about the people that are Democrat and they mad that Bernie ain't get elected and they gonna be like fuck Joe Biden. It's bigger than Joe Biden. It's the motherfucking all these conservative judges. They're ramming through the federal court system. If you get 4 more years of Trump, you're gonna get 4 more years of that.
Yeah, well, I think that what you're saying just in general about Donald Trump is like, yes, he's not the smartest person. And then he's also saying that this is like terrible. George Floyd, the victim of this, homicide, and really the spark to
the only way to change that, you got to get him out of there.
He's saying that George Floyd is up in heaven looking down and is proud of what's happening right now.
He getting his own way.
It's just
he getting his own way.
It's just those type of words like are not like some people would call them insensitive. I'm calling them ignorant.
Whoever his
I'm calling
advisor
it ignorant. I'm calling it ignorant because it's not having any kind of touch.
I want to know who the speechwriter is that tells him, yeah, it's okay to say this.
It doesn't matter who it is because what they give to him, it's like, this is safe. And he's like, no, take that out, take that out. You know what? I'm just going to freestyle.
Well, I mean,
why do I keep you on staff?
Mentality of
Give me
people
coffee.
like Trump.
Give me a Big Mac.
Is almost like the mentality of most racists. They want to tell you how you should feel, not how you make them feel. You know what I mean? So if you tell Trump, hey, this might be sensitive coming from you, he's going to be like, no, let me tell you what's sensitive coming from me. So
yeah. He can never be wrong,
Gotta get him out of there, dog.
His response to the protesters has been abysmal. General review on his leadership globally right now with what's going on. Domestically, how do you feel he's handling things?
In America, like some shit.
Okay.
Fuck you mean?
But he still has a lot of support and he can still win states.
Well, I mean,
a lot of people start backing him.
Yeah, but I think
they're out of touch. And they just did it.
I know.
Honestly, dude, it's ignorance. That's what it comes down to me.
Hillary was a bad candidate. Hillary was a very bad candidate, right? And
Hillary could have won.
But a lot of people didn't want a female president.
Well, a lot of people didn't vote.
A lot of people didn't want to be ran by a woman.
No, I mean, there's a lot of reasons they lost.
That's why when everybody asks me, is like, who do you think is the most opposed, like, race or whatever? I'm always like, women. Because women is every motherfucking race.
A lot of women ain't like Hillary neither. She was plain simple. She was a bad candidate. I think Joe Biden's a bad candidate.
Yeah, he is.
Right?
He's our version of Trump, but
that's
he's
kind of like
kill.
The definition of John Paul Jones and write this shit.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like, let's kind of get this teetering, tottering.
But we gonna
Alex, you know me. You know I've been there. I was there for the civil rights. I was marching. I was, you know what I mean? He's like, oh my God.
I think, but then we'll be blowing me. Sometimes he fucking forget what the fuck he's saying. I'm like, no, spit it out.
Yeah. And we've seen that actually on national morning television. Mm-hmm. It's like, my name's not Chuck, it's Todd. He's like, no, I'm Chuck Todd. He's like, I was talking to Barack. What? like Barack's over there? Yeah. It's like, you're sitting right in front of me. Barack's not there.
But it's deeper, dog. It's deeper than just him. It's just deeper. Like what's the Supreme Court justice? She holding on to a bad life. She was trying to die when
RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
She didn't even want to live 4 more years. She on her way out. You think she gonna live another 4 if Trump is reelected? Young,
I think she's trying to wait for it. I think she's literally teeting on to like.
Let me tell you
like the beeline.
Let me tell you
like change an election. Like please, like don't let me die in a Trump era. Don't let me die in a Trump era.
Y'all can say all y'all want about Donald Trump, but if he get reelected, you know what his legacy is gonna be. That lady, rest her soul, might pass away, and he's gonna have a 63 lead conservative liberal Supreme Court justice.
Mm.
That's his legacy right there.
Yeah, that would be a legacy. That'd be, people would be like Donald Trump, greatest Republican ever.
Of all time. Of all time. If he could get 6 conservative judges to only 3 liberal, that's his legacy right there. You can say all the shit you want to do, but when he go down in history, Republicans are gonna
Did
love
that for
him.
conservatives. We love
Yep.
this guy. Well, hopefully
That's why I said it's deeper than if your dislike for Joe Biden. It's deeper than that.
Right. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to our last topic. Once again, this is Open Shots. Hit us up at openshotsdmv@gmail.com. We started off with Black Lives Matter, the movement, really the movement, and everything that's going on with that. We followed up with coronavirus, COVID-19, which unfortunately Kellyanne Conway doesn't realize that there were 18 before this.
She said a couple months ago, right? Yeah,
there were 18
like,
before this virus, and now we're on the 19th, so we'll figure it out now.
Bitch, what?
It's coronavirus infection disease.
And I'm your average
2019.
And when I saw the highlights of that dumbass
There's been
bitch
18. So moving on to our last topic, we're gonna get into sports. Everything's been put on hold. No, for me, it's March Madness and Sweet 16 and all that good stuff. And
all my picks were right. All my picks were right for the Final Four.
Yeah, I had the national champion. Yeah, so I'm.
You owe me some. You owe me some money. We bet it.
No, you owed him. But you stole me. Look, you know what? So anyway, we're talking about a lot of seasons have been canceled. MLB, NHL, NBA.
Yeah, what they going to do
basketball.
when somebody tests positive? They're going to shut the whole shit down.
Right. So let's get into it. So the NBA is projecting a comeback on July 31st. Rick, too soon? We move. They're going to do it in Orlando.
I just said this motherfucker. Hell yeah, man. Look, my point of view is we shouldn't start shit until it's fucking safe. If the doctors say it's cool to go, see, right now it's all about people getting paid. To me, I don't think the NBA is an essential job. You're not essential workers. You're entertainers.
Correct. Wow, that's a great point. But what
about the essential jobs that depend on the income?
Okay, but all right. Let me answer this question for me. Are they going to pay Are they going to test the event staff every day like they testing the NBA players?
I mean, they would have to. They would have to make adjustments.
I don't know that, but do we know they're doing that? Because you don't know what the event staff is doing when they go home. They're not quarantining that fucking bubble.
True.
In Orlando, you know what the fuck? They in Florida. They like, shit, these motherfuckers in the hotel. I'm about to go fuck with these bitches. And then I'm about to, right? And then
you're young in the NBA. Yeah, that's what you're doing.
I ain't talking about the
NBA. And you in Florida.
I'm talking about the event staff.
In Utah.
I'm talking about the maintenance guys that do the arena. Get the arena life. They not in that fucking hotel room. They be like, they hitting J's and everything. Be like, yeah, LeBron can't pass me all that shit. Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah. So you think it's still too early?
Oh, they testing them.
All right. Well, I'm sure that. Well, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean,
then now
one of the things. Aren't they going to have crowdless games?
Yeah, crowdless games.
Yeah. So, and I don't mind. I don't mind that. That take it back when they was in Pee Wee playing Little League basketball.
Yeah, just watch it on TV.
But no one was at them fucking
empty
games.
as hell.
Yeah, maybe they'll clean the stadium. Well, they won't really have to clean the stadium.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So how you know what the janitor doing when he go home? You think he quarantined? Fuck no.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe giving him.
You know how many janitors be getting down?
You can always give them hazard pay.
Janitors
get hazard pay like nurses.
Well, here's one good thing.
Janitors,
they're all going to play in the same arena. Am I right?
Right.
Yeah. So that limits how many janitors you're going to have. It's just going to be for
yeah.
But are the janitors going to stay at the DoubleTree Hotel? No.
The losing team's cleans.
I'll bring a shower on janitor. Joe Bum's like, I'm here to do what now? All right.
Yeah. Because if that was the rule, and now that I was in the NBA, I'd be like, find me now. I ain't cleaning shit.
Yeah. So you're still thinking it's too early. All right. Let's say if it was still good. Let's say if the season was still to happen, which is it looks like it's gonna project it. So first of all,
he might have some bomb ass seeds, yeah. But so what? You don't know what the fuck he doing when he go home.
All right, so.
But then you want him to fucking clean up after the motherfuckers, man? Nah, fuck that.
So you just get Danny Banks. You give her a little. They'll stay.
Yeah. If I was in the league, she coming in my jump, man, for real. You gotta take a risk on that one, yeah. Gotta take a risk on that one, for real. Because you don't see too many of them walking around like that. You like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Is it real?
So for only being able to play at one stadium.
Which is cool.
That you have exponentially increased the potential for germs, as opposed to having 4 or 5 different facilities in the area.
Well, no. It's
Because-
part of the control with many facilities.
I get it, but you can still limit the access to all of these other buildings just for specific teams to play their games over here.
Mhm.
Because all of those teams coming through one place
Mhm.
is air in the air handler and
Mhm.
shared air.
Mhm.
That's a lot of people.
But it's still a controlled environment.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree, but I think they should have more controlled environments than just the one. Exponentially, that shit
And
can
look,
fucking blow up quick.
this should be
You know what I
every
mean? Like teams
NBA
coming and
team
going,
Mhm.
touching
No.
chairs on like one guy, and then they go, and then like next thing you know, they're all playing in the same place. The next day, you got 20 people.
No.
You know
What
what I
about
mean?
what about the 12th man that never comes off the fucking bench? And he's like, man, I'm going out tonight because I ain't playing tomorrow.
I don't think they're
You're gonna be too
That's-
tired cleaning.
there you
No.
go. Fix the janitor problem.
Yeah, you didn't
We
play.
fix the janitor problem. There you go, janitor. There you go.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Janitor
How-
problem is
How you
fixed.
gonna tell a 23, 24-year-old youngin, 12th man, you gotta stay in your hotel room, who ain't married, ain't got no children, and you in Florida, and you looking on fucking OnlyFans, and you like, damn, Slim, you like young Slim Exotica, she at Club Woo 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 in Orlando. I'm there.
Mm.
I'm fucking Heineken, and I play in the NBA. I play for the Lakers. I ain't going in the game tomorrow, but I'm about to get some pussy.
All right, so I want to get kind of back really quick because
But how you gonna control
so we
that?
only got a couple. We only got a couple minutes left. So if everything accordingly works out with the NBA, they're gonna do what is it, like a 29-game
Stupid.
season, and
Nah,
the Wizards
eight
still have
games,
a chance to
eight
get
games.
in there. What is it?
They 8 games, and they get a chance for a play-in.
Okay, but how many total? No, I thought it was like a 20-game season.
I'm not-
All right, so
20
regardless,
game
So,
season.
no,
What
I'm
you
sorry. All
talking
right, well, forget all that.
8 games.
It starts in July. It ends at whatever time. It ends in what, September? And so when does
No.
the new season start?
They haven't said that yet. I think
December?
Christmas.
Because
Yeah.
October is
Is
when
the-
the
is-
NBA
is the
starts.
end, yeah,
Halloween.
yeah, yeah.
Halloween is
Yeah.
always NBA.
Yeah, I think
So-
the final game 7 of the finals will be October 12th, I believe.
So then they would have to move it at least 2 months
To
away.
Christmas.
I would
yeah.
say they move it to like second week in January or first week in January.
Right, so
It gives you 3 months. Same thing as the summer.
NBA.com.
But then you fuck up. So then now you have to do the makeup season next year. Well, you're doing it this season. You're fucking up next season.
But
you're
no, but they are,
extending
but I also
January
heard
to
they wanna-
July, and then
they
you
don't
can
but
still
they don't
make
mind
up-
moving the finals to July. The NBA don't mind doing that. There's
Yeah,
been talks.
next
They've been
year.
talking to them.
Next
Yeah.
year.
They've been
You
talk-
have to push everything back.
They've been
And
talking
then
to them
you
moving
start-
the finals
Then
to
you can
July.
get back on. Then you can get it back on.
Hey,
track.
real
Yeah,
quick.
all right, I get it.
from NBA.com.
I guess it could work.
The season is going to start July 31st.
Said that.
It will end at October 12th. There will be
Right.
22 teams.
Oh.
So the top three from the Eastern Conference are the Bucks, the Raptors, and the Celtics.
Wizards.
And the first three, the Wizards, they're in the final spot. And on the Western Conference is going to be Los Angeles, LA, and
Politics,
Denver.
dog.
Two LA
Politics.
teams. The Clip gonna win it, John. It's
So-
gonna be the Clip. It's gonna be the Clip.
Whatever you
Kawhi
didn't get
hasn't
from
stopped
that,
working. Neither has
NBA.com.
LeBron.
Hey, yeah, be honest with you,
Oh,
it could
Paul
be the
George has been
Bucks.
working.
Nobody got their rhythm. The Lakers was in the rhythm, the Clippers was in the rhythm, but the shit like this, man, the Bucks might take it.
Well, this has been a great pause. So you know what I mean in terms of like just general timing on sports.
No, something you would know. Would DeMarcus Cousins be able to play, or because they cut him, he's not allowed
He
to
cut.
play?
He's not on the team.
Yeah,
So he's a free agent.
No, he's not even a free agent. No one can pick him up, I believe.
Why
Why?
not?
That's because that's how I was listening.
He
to
violated
someone
his
talk.
contract.
No, just because it's like he's not eligible to be picked up.
No, if you
it
cut,
has, to
you
be,
a free
it has
agent.
to be in the contract.
Yeah, that's what.
It has
That's
to
why
be
I
in
was
the
trying.
contract.
What
It
do
has
you
to be
mean?
like a clause where
Yeah,
if you don't do this,
he got
you get
fucking.
cut, you
He
can't.
got cut. He has no
Yeah,
contract.
he got cut. Yeah, that's what I figured. He'd have no contract. You should be able to pick him up, but
Yeah,
you know,
but he
that's
tore.
what I've been-
But
yeah.
he tore his Achilles.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah, that's right. I've seen
could
that
become-
jump.
yeah, he-
Damn, I've seen that jump. I
he didn't
remember
tear
that.
it again.
No, I saw it
No,
like
the
back
other
when it had,
one.
like October,
Okay, yeah,
November.
Yeah,
When
He
he
tore
was
the
like
other-
going full court, like playing
He tore
around.
the other
Yeah.
one.
And he
Yeah.
landed on his
tore the other
left,
one.
and he just like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
a
he's
gem,
scheduled to
like
come
a
back
little
before
gem.
October.
Once again, this is that show, Open Shots. Hit us up at openshotsdmv@gmail.com. I'm your host, Alex, along here with,
Rick.
and we got a special guest by the name of,
Sean Taylor, no vowels.
once again, shout out to our producer, Los, for being in the house, getting this thing going. And I think
Yeah, Los.
we had to get back to the people because, we definitely got too much knowledge not to share. So we're just going to end it on our wrap up. We started off with Black Lives Matter movement, the entire movement, COVID-19 and what that's doing overall. Donald Trump, it's not that hard to go at him.
Fuck Donald Trump.
Sports and current state of sports generally. And,
ain't no state of sport. Ain't motherfucking nothing
on television. So, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. So, I got a couple questions for you guys, and I got a couple of questions for the listeners. Once again, openshotsdmv@gmail.com. So, how is the future of the United States looking with everything that is currently happening?
It ain't gonna be like the way it looked like the day of your birthday party. Them days are gone, over. You're gonna have to adjust to the new fucking world. Now, I don't know if it's gonna be like fucking masks and gloves all the fucking time, because whenever they get a vaccine, like motherfuckers gonna be normal again. But it still ain't gonna be like the way it used to be. Them days are over. Just like after 9/11 and all the fucking airplane shit changed, your life changed forever.
Okay. What about in terms of Mr. Taylor? Got any thoughts?
If we're going to have to make some changes, let's see what type of help we're going to get from the Republican-controlled Senate. On the Senate funding a second stimulus check, this is Mitt Romney quoting, unlikely. This is Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican, South Carolina. I'm not enthused about another round of rebate checks. I do believe we should be helping people on Social Security because the price of food has gone up, and I don't see any end in sight.
Oh, now you want to help Social Security. Now you want.
There we go.
now you want to do it.
She's just deferring, you know what I mean?
Yeah, now they're doing a little dance now. Then they way, but now they should focus on it. Come on, yeah, they bullshit, man. You playing politics with people? Hey, yeah, like, I mean, I don't know, dog. Like, if they want to give me another stimulus check, I'm cool with it.
I'm cool with it too.
Good. You know what I'm gonna buy with it? I shouldn't say it, but you know what I'm gonna buy.
I was thinking a sectional.
Here, the one from Oklahoma, Republican. He says the world is scrambling to slow down the spread of coronavirus. So we need to enter lockdown. So he kind of feels that.
Who's this?
This is Senator James Langsford
from
Oklahoma.
Okay.
Senator from Oklahoma. I guess he feels we'll take the money and go out and do stuff.
Probably right. So because of COVID, social distancing, education, business, travel, entertainment, everything has completely changed. We talked about sports earlier in terms of allowing people and continuing with what we love to see because it's live, unpredictable sports, just something live entertainment. Business has completely been changed. Manifests, travel destinies, import, export, a lot of that just because of the cost to do business now because of PPE. Education, and congratulations to the class of 2020, Clarity and Vision 2020. But it sucks that you didn't have a prom. It sucks that you didn't have the graduation, Jones. Shout out to the class.
Man, look, man, motherfucking prom is overrated. The graduation, Jones.
Well, I'm just saying that whole thing. Like everybody, I think, should have to dress up and sweat in May. Because everybody has to go and take their pictures. And you're uncomfortable and you're sweating. They have to do it. Everybody should have to do it.
No, going across the stage, I get it, right? I never did that in my life, but I saw my daughter do it, and it was great, right? So they probably fuck that. Okay, so that part, but the prom, man, fuck that. All you, man, when you were senior, you going there, or even if you at a school and you took somebody to prom, you don't give a fuck about the prom. You waiting for the after party and trying to get it. Nobody ever fucking remember the fucking prom unless you were squared. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna remember that shit.
I didn't go to my prom.
If the prom is the highlight of your life, you probably not having a good life.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I didn't go to my prom. I went to another prom. I actually went to y'all prom.
Blair. I remember from my
Blair 98. Prom. I went to y'all prom. I
don't remember. I remember from
I remember that shit because I didn't go to my prom.
I remember how we got everybody that motherfucker was a rental car, and it was my grandmother's car. That's what I remember. And me and my brother pocketed all the fucking money.
Don't hate on my memories, you bastards. All right, so with everything that's going on, again, still some questions. Black Lives Movement. The justice system, we've talked about it. They should be held accountable. There is this thin blue line of union ownership and union controllership. Tupac said it, cops are a gang. So we still have to be able to see what Rick said, which is if you're charged with a crime, you still have to see it like a civilian. There should be no special treatment. And we also have to be able to get convictions. So that's also something that's important, because if you change the roles, you're still getting convictions on videotape.
That's going to be hard, though, because like they did that with Freddie Gray. They was smart. They asked for trial by judge, not trial by jury.
Okay, so
any smart lawyer and you a police and you think, especially in the inner city, you're going to get a trial by a judge because the judge is going to fucking side with the police all the fucking time. Come on, young.
In the state of Maryland.
Anybody can ask trial by judge. You don't have to have trial by jury.
Well, state of Maryland's laws are a whole lot different from the Commonwealth. So let's be clear to our listeners. Know your state laws. Know your local laws. Okay, so I want to address this clearly and as concise as I can. A lot of people are saying or asking what is going to come of the rioting and the protesting. And I spoke with my man, shout out to the great Dr. Wesson, because he called me last week. And he was like, I think it's going to pop off this weekend. He was predicting and everything. And then we had this debate, which is this question: what are riots and protests going to bring? And I will bring you to one clear point to our listeners, to anybody who's a critic of the show, that doesn't think that this type of social reform, social unrest, instability, uncontrolled environment, to all of you who don't accept that will make a change. Because of Freddie Gray, we now have seat belts in paddy wagons. We have body cameras.
Yeah, but they can turn the motherfuckers off.
Well, we still have body cameras now.
So what? They can turn them off.
Body cameras are relevant because of Freddie Gray. Can I keep going? And then we also have a change and a shake-up.
But they always have
people voted.
They always have body cameras.
Now it's a mandatory thing because of Freddie Gray. Now it's mandatory because of Freddie Gray. You had, like, every police department in the country was like rushing to get body cameras
for politics.
If a lot of our listeners or whoever maybe don't understand how social reform and unrest, the civil rights movement, apartheid, you could look at as far as they didn't have the power, but internment camps for Japanese Americans lost their businesses. I mean, this is something that is.
No, I understand time takes change, and it ain't gonna fucking change off one fucking election year. It's not. Because if you look at the history of America, change takes a long fucking time.
Change and justice, it takes a long time.
Long time. Because look, I'm not trying to get y'all history lesson, but hear me out, okay? The root of this shit, okay? I don't know if it's the root of this shit, but this is how my mind thinks. When was America born, right?
1776.
So it took America 80-something years to realize that slavery was bad, right or wrong. 1861.
Did it take it to realize that it was wrong, or was there a war waged between economics?
No, it took.
You have to look at the economics of the situation.
Ain't no economics, dog. It took America
free slave labor in the South versus people having to work in the cities in the North. Huge.
Hear me out. This is about change. It took America to realize, the smart Americans, not the Southerners, because they stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Okay? The COVID-19 Joe is like, what y'all doing?
It took America 85 years to realize that, okay, maybe slavery was bad, right? Okay.
Maybe it was bad.
Right? So then they fought, they won a civil war, and there's no more slavery, right? Then came Jim Crow, right? Then came lynching and shit like that, right? It took America another 100 years just to realize, oh shit, maybe the slaves that we just freed, now the black people, now they need civil rights.
But 100 years later is 1960.
Okay, hear me out. You're not hearing me out. You're not listening.
I'm listening.
You're hearing me, but you're not listening. Okay? Okay. After civil rights, right? What happened after civil rights? Came police brutality. Police brutality been happening since the fucking 60s. And now they've been caught on camera.
I think police brutality has been happening since the beginning of police.
Yeah. But they want police.
Well, we get what you're saying.
They want police then. So that's another fucking 60. Now we 60 years after the civil rights movement.
Exactly.
It's 60 years later.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying,
and a lot of people don't understand that.
Change takes time. It ain't gonna happen overnight. Do we want? But it can start happening with voting. You got to vote these motherfuckers out that don't want to change shit. You got to vote all them good old boys out. You got to get them out of there.
Well, you have to get people. You have to get young people.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard in certain states, right? You know, in fucking Mississippi, that shit ain't going to rock. You know, in Alabama, that shit ain't going to rock. You see what I'm saying? You got to. Well, certain states, you just know that Louisiana, shit ain't going to fucking. Okay, I was trying to be nice about the shit. All them slave states, except Virginia, because they turning purple, you're not going to change the way they think. In North Carolina. Sure. North Carolina is
North Carolina can kind of go back and forth.
Right.
North Carolina can slide back and forth.
And Florida's
population of the state. They have
Florida's a purple state too, also, right?
Thanks.
But we got to get Nevada. You got to get fucking New Mexico. You see what I'm saying? You're never gonna get Texas, because I got folks in Texas and they love their fucking guns.
Exactly.
Look, even the Spanish people out there, they don't hear what the fuck we be saying. They just hear you want to take my guns, and they're not gonna fucking vote for you, okay? Because that's an open carry state, and they fucking, when I say open carry, they fucking open carry. They don't give a fuck.
All right, so let's go ahead.
One thing that always has brought change is kind of economic pressure. So when Dr. Martin Luther King was marching and doing the boycotts for the buses, that greatly affected change in policy because they needed
economics.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, it definitely, I think, ultimately boils down to that. And Rick, one last thing to our listeners, Rick, I raised the point of the why did they take down Confederate statues?
They didn't take them all fucking down.
No, they took down some of them, and people were like, "Well, that's no. Well,
and they started putting they started putting them statues up during the Jim Crow.
Why shouldn't they have them up? Why shouldn't they have those?
They fucking lost. They lost that war.
Well, and also they are.
Well, it's really
they're domestic terrorists.
They're
domestic terrorists.
And you can make that argument every day. And
to me, that's how I believe.
And I agree with it too. I mean, think about it. If you're a militia in Michigan or Minnesota or South Dakota, and you build a community, and you're like, we're building our own country. We're building our own state, our own county inside of South Dakota, Minnesota, whatever.
No,
the powers that be are going to be like, nah, you got to shut it down. Otherwise, if you have to fight to keep that open, like Rick said, you're a domestic terrorist.
They fought America, right? And
yes, they did. Exactly. That's the second one.
Well,
they fought America.
The thing with the protest, people have a problem with people taking the knee. The Confederate took the ultimate knee. If you think taking a knee is disrespecting the flag,
good point. That's a great point. That's a great what he's saying. They took the ultimate knee.
You know, if you think they disrespected America, disrespecting the flag, the Confederate was replacing the flag. Yeah, that's like,
so to have a Confederate flag, you're taking a knee.
Yeah, you're taking
Hey, let's throw that in front of their faces. All right, so let's get back to these.
But we hope that the change that we want isn't going to take that long. But look, change takes a long fucking time, dog. That's the whole point I was trying to make.
Right.
Especially in this slow ass slow ass American process, it takes a long fucking time, and it shouldn't take a motherfucker to get his fucking die from a punk police motherfucker putting his fucking knee in his back of his fucking neck for shit like this to happen.
Yeah.
You understand?
This
shit's fucked up.
Right? I mean, it was kind of odd how it took so long to arrest the three, and especially
because it was
first.
Again, I'm going back to my man, my man who was last week hit me up last week and was like, this was the final straw. They had to arrest him because it was going to be a hot weekend. Nobody, like, there's a lot of people with no jobs. They hit me up. It's like the powers that are going to make this happen. It's already happening. It's already going down. Some people may have a heart and be like, but then maybe we should think about it. But the people that really wanted it, they was going through it.
Look, to be honest with you, I was joking when I was like that 48-hour grace period. But at the end of the day, man, this is frustration built up fucking decades, centuries.
Centuries.
We can't speak to that.
Centuries. And a
ST
lot of people who are ignorant
ST can
have
speak
no
to it.
concept of that.
But I could like understand his frustration, but ST can speak to it better than we can. But this is fucking centuries of built up anger,
Oppression.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what the fuck, cuz? Like, what the fuck more do we got to do?
And some of it's from white people too. Like I said,
A lot of it's from
the
white people.
coronavirus. You had to stay in, so you're already seeing white the
opposition.
Opposition going to the state capitol with guns, getting ready to threaten the police.
Yep.
So it's already in the air to, if you're not a person of color, that you're seeing other people who aren't a person of color standing up and disrespecting the police. So when it was time to
they had to stand up for their
protest,
cause. We have to stand up for ours.
you know.
All right, so
Man, they beating girls up. Did y'all see the jump how they beat the bitch up from Indiana?
Yeah, I mean, shit, you a protester. Hey, man.
Good. They smacked that hoe on their fucking knees, yo. I was like, God damn.
It's not good. I mean, they're trained a certain way. Yeah.
Look at my remote control. He hit the bitch with it this way, that way, that way.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
He had it was like a pillow fight when he was a kid. He was like, I'm pillow fighting his whole knees. That's what he did to her. Yeah, that's what he did.
What about the old man? How they pushed that?
Yeah, they pushed him back and he cracked his skull. Dog.
Left him leaking.
Was it Dr. Dre's brother died because of shit like that?
Left that old man leaking.
His brother died because he got pushed and
cracked
the skull. And the guy that pushed him got convicted of second-degree murder.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, so let's last 2 minutes. Last 2 minutes. Let's get into this real quick. Last 2 minutes for everybody. Go ahead and jump in however you like. 2 free for all. So Trump's second term. We got elections coming up. Biden wins the Democratic bid. How do you see the future of elections right now?
All you progressives that are so mad that Bernie lost is bigger than fucking Bernie, man. It's the Supreme Court. It's the fucking judicial system that's gonna hurt our grandchildren and our children. I mean, we don't want our children to get in trouble, but we never know. It's going to hurt all people of color. You keep fucking around and be all mad because Joe Biden is the fucking nominee. Think about the fucking future. Think about all the federal judges they slamming through the judicial system right now. And 6'3", a conservative leave in the fucking Supreme Court. Smoking rocks if you mad. Let Trump get reelected. It's going to be y'all fault.
Okay, so Biden, what does he bring to the table?
It's bigger than Biden.
Okay, so that's what that's where you're standing.
Yeah, who you want Donald Trump again?
I'm just asking your thoughts on voting for this candidate.
I'm asking you. Do you want Donald Trump?
No.
Okay, so don't ask me.
Me personally, it has nothing to go with right now about policy. It really just has to go about presence.
If you don't want to go out and vote, if you don't want to go out and vote for Biden, then you want Donald Trump for 4 more years. And all them dumbass people, well, I don't gotta vote for Biden. I could vote for my shoe. Okay, you want Donald Trump for 4 more years. That's what you're saying.
All right, Mr. Taylor, what do you got?
Yeah, so we can break down the whole.
No, we only have 2 minutes. Then we're already
in 2 minutes. We're
already like 45 seconds in.
Because a lot of people who are like the Bernie bros, they're gonna vote green because it's a way of protesting, right? So pretty much what we're what it's saying is if Biden wins, we are going to become stale and the progressive movement will die. But if Trump wins, it's going to motivate the progressive base to not only fight him his whole entire time, but to grow stronger leadership.
But do you want to give him that legacy? Do you want to allow Trump that legacy?
Well, what you're looking at is for anyone who's thinking like that with the same type of mentality, they don't see a difference between Biden and Trump because the thing they hate the most is the status quo. They hate the fact that both of these guys are capitalist corporate type of politicians, and that's all they see. They don't see the Trump being this or the Biden being that. They see the same person.
Well, look, don't get mad if Trump is 4 more years.
My buddy already called it when he won the first jump that he's going to win the second term.
Don't be mad.
Yeah,
that's what I say to them. That's what I say to them. Don't be mad if Trump win 4 more. It's gonna be your fault.
I mean, it's the ultimate power play because you can't let the base that you're trying to take over get more powerful, and and by putting them in power. So it's a dilemma.
Yeah. So I think that
No, I think Republicans get together stronger than Democrats.
All right, but yes, because they're whatever. I think that one thing that we need to look out for is just in general, if you live in this country, because at some point,
because Republicans, they
Canada
think
could be an option.
Look, nobody wanted Donald Trump,
No.
but when he was the nomination, you know why they banded together? Because they cared about the Supreme Court. They cared about the federal judges. They didn't give a fuck.
True.
They wanted their agenda passed. So all y'all progressives, I know STU won. I see that Bernie bro hat on. I don't mean, but look, y'all need to get along, man. Fuck Donald Trump, okay? And I'm with y'all. Fuck Joe Biden too, but he better than 4 more years of Trump, Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I just wanted to end it on this. Again, I have to go back to something that has happened, recently. Obviously, with everything that's going on with the Black Lives Movement. Once again, rest in peace to Rob. My dad actually was the one who was like, "What happened to your man? Why ain't they saying his name?" And yada yada. And I'm like, "All right, fuck it." You know what I'm saying? Like, it's my man.
But, hey, News 7 ain't put that shit on Candid Camera. Somebody should have leaked that shit to CNN, and then we could have rioted City Place and got all that shit.
Well,
wow.
Yeah, I know exactly. Completely throwing the entire thing off. But it is what it is. This is Open Shots. Hit us up at openshotsdmv@gmail.com.